talk about that right now because we are officially live
We are
in,
live.
in studio.
I know, and I kind of redid my studio.
Did you? I see you have a blue light now instead of a red.
Well, I changed it to blue, and then I have my Operation Inherent Resolve certificate with the flag that flew over in the fighter jet. My Deadpool. Of course, I got Iron Man lit up, and then Thor. You know how I am. So, in any case, hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Stacy Karma.
I'm Brian, not
He's
so
my
Karma.
brother. What'd you say?
I am Brian, not so Karma.
Not so Karma. We are the sibling chatters. I forgot to do my icon.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think it's because I was a little sidetracked with everything going on. Oh, I got my glasses still on. I could take those off. Oh, and I've been doing a lot of shorts today. I've been rocking it because I hit 103.
Right, and I noticed that you're doing shorts that you're not adding any commentary to. Now with what you know, you probably can.
Yes.
Say something at the beginning, say something at the end. I've sent you a couple of things to look at in our chat so that you can see, because I sent you a couple of shorts and you can see where they make the comments, and one of them, to give a shout out to one of the guys that I watched, the Quartering. I think he's in Wisconsin, and good. He seems to be a good dude. He has his own coffee company now. He does a lot of pop culture.
Yeah, I've seen him.
He does a little bit of politics on a separate channel, but he's a good dude. I appreciate the work that he does. I listen to him. I listen to at least one or two of his podcasts a day, or streams, whatever you want to call these.
I may get him confused with, he's either been on Tim Pool or he's been on Ricada Law.
He has been on Tim Pool a couple of, I think either one or two times. He's the one who helped Crowder get his site set up whenever it was all jacked up. He did a lot of work with them, and the guys from I think it's MetaPC, and giving shout outs to those guys. I mean, their stuff looks awesome. They build cool computers.
I think I saw one interview with him where he got doxxed.
Yeah.
No, not doxxed, swatted.
He got swatted and his wife got put in handcuffs, and he was not a happy camper. And I don't blame him. I mean, the swatting issue is something that, for whatever reason, we let slide. And I really think that if the FBI and the NSA can tell us what Tucker Carlson was having conversations about, back in what, 2020, I think they could figure out this swatting situation quite quickly if they wanted to. But I think it's who it's happening to, not that it's happening. And because of who it's happening to, they seem to be turning a blind eye to it, which is unfortunate because there's been, 3 or 4 deaths now because of swatting situations. And I think that's what they're trying for. You didn't hear about, there was one guy that he was a gamer, and I don't know the whole story. I've only heard it talked about from the gaming community, where a guy got swatted. He answered the door with a gun because he didn't know that the police were out there, and ended up, I don't even think that they gave him the opportunity to put it down. He never, from what I understand, I haven't seen the video because I don't like to watch those types of videos. They make my sleep really bad. But he never got a chance to put it down, and they shot him dead. And that had to do with a swatting situation. So there have been a few deaths due to these swatting calls, and for whatever reason, they're not doing anything about it. But I will tell you this: if some guy or whoever is discovered doing this and something bad happens to them, I won't lose an ounce of sleep over it. I won't, because you brought it upon yourself and you think for whatever reason you're somehow, sticking it to whoever that you don't agree with. And it's all about whether you agree with them or not. It's not about, or because you got beat in a video game. Who gives a crap? And
it's
if you're that soft, that you don't like losing in a video game, can you imagine what you're like in the business world? I'd eat your lunch.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those where I was thinking today, because it's usually the far left that are doing this kind of crap. And it occurred to me today, these people that are woke are idiots. They're idiots because the people that are supporting them, the corrupt politicians, are just lining their pockets with their own money, making money.
Well,
but supporting that woke agenda off taxpayers' backs.
Well, I don't know what the political side of the people that are making these SWAT calls. I think it's just a matter of just disliking either the message or what was said, or somebody said something about my favorite actor, and for whatever reason I've got to go and defend them, which is really stupid. But it's just one of those things that for whatever reason, people just feel like they got to somehow get out there and do something, and you really don't. You don't.
Well, and I don't see anybody on the conservative side doing that, because generally, we're rule followers. We believe in the rule of law.
And you heard about the guy that was going around shooting at Democrats.
I did see that.
Okay. So
that's not normal.
Right. And this gets back to that nice little scenario that we were talking about, how Republicans are held to a certain standard. We are heroes, so to speak, as in we have that hero syndrome. If we do anything out of the ordinary, even if it's not you or somebody else who's a Republican, but because somebody who's a Republican did it, you automatically are accountable for it. The Democrats, it's not that way. On the other side, it's not that way, and that's why I stay in the middle now, because as far as I'm concerned, you guys are both insane.
I'm a conservative, and I lean more right, never lean left. Well, I can't say that because there are some things that I believe in equal. I believe in equal rights.
Right. There's just some things that you have to just go, you know what? Who cares what party you're for? That kind of sounds logical. I agree with that.
It's like common sense.
Yeah, common sense politics has always been a problem. But I didn't get on tonight to talk politics again, because it's so easy to do.
It is, but there's I found something, it's kind of political, but not political, but I listened to it last night, and I don't remember what YouTube short I caught it on, but they were talking about transgenders, and these transgenders going into school reading books. And this guy goes, so if you're okay with that, you're okay with the pedophile going in there and reading it. You're okay with the murderer going in there. Mm-hmm. List off all these things. I'm like, why doesn't anybody else see it like that?
Oh, I saw one that was quite interesting. The lady, this mom, walks up to the podium in a cat suit. And I mean, like a tight cat leopard suit with little ears. And she goes, I'm a cat. And then lays into him going, if you know that I'm not a cat, and if you believe that I'm a cat, that's not normal. Why are we lying to our kids, letting them believe that they are something that they're not? Like, why do you let a man wearing a dress be told to our children that that's a woman when they can clearly tell it's a man in a dress? And this was a short. It was like, I think it was maybe 2 minutes.
So it wasn't a short then. So it was a video.
No. It was on the short, in the little short thing. Some of the shorts are 2 minutes. You can get 2 minutes into those.
I'll have to look and see because I thought it was only 60 seconds, but
I sent you one from a guy who is at Oxford over in England talking about what woke culture teaches people. And then he went into, he goes, but I don't want to talk about woke culture. He kind of said, we've done enough of it. We know the damage that it does. I want to talk about climate. And his climate conversation is so awesome from the standpoint of if we sunk England, and he's in England, obviously. He said, if we sunk England today, it would only matter 2% to the issues that the earth has. 2%.
I think that's the channel you told me to subscribe to, and I did.
No, this was one I just sent to you recently for you to take a look at. And it was just interesting. His argument was so good. I'm going to rewatch it again, only from the standpoint, not to have an argument with anybody, but just because you feel good listening to it because you're like, man, that makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with arguments that make sense. But the only problem I have with all these debates is that nothing comes from them.
Right.
Nobody does.
Speaking of England, because I was going to bring up the debate thing, I'm going to wear my present I got from my friend tonight.
What'd you get?
You just wait and see. But so he said the climate's changing. Duh.
Well, no, he just said that if we were to follow the rules, you could sink England right now, and it would only matter 2%. Only matter
in the world.
It would only change things 2%. It's the worlds that have it's the areas of the world that have the poorest people where the problem is. Because how many people want to stay poor? If you could convince people to stay poor, you'd be fine. But because they want to industrialize, because they don't have the technologies that we have to make those things cleaner and better. I mean, think about it. What's the worst thing you can do to heat your house with? Fire.
Oh.
Air, coal, burning actual coal in an open fireplace, which some people do. You can light coal. Oh, your tiara. Got it. So, the thing is that we have better technologies now, but third world countries do not.
Well, I could say being poor sucks because I'm poor right now.
Well, I understand, and I am.
And the mortgage industry sucks. And I don't care what anybody says, it's not going to rebound until 2024. If people think it's coming back in 2023, they are sadly mistaken. After 30 plus years of watching it, it's going to take a little bit.
Well, and you saw that the technology industry has laid off 51,000 people. Different companies have laid off that many people.
One of the banks
first.
Get this straight. One of the banks in my area. So look straight. I got it.
Of course.
One of the banks in my area, and it was a big one. And I actually, people at one point were trying to get me to apply there. Shut down their whole mortgage division. Closed it.
There's nobody going after mortgages now. Once the point hit, or the percentage hit 4? People were used to hearing 2.
And in reality, where they are today, 5, 6, I've heard some 7s. That's normal.
Whenever I refinanced my house, I got down to 3. And I'm getting letters saying, "Oh, you need to refi," and it's like, okay, well, what are you at? And they go 4.1, and I'm like,
here,
okay.
And that's the thing that people look at that and they think it's instant cash, and they don't realize that they're refinancing it for another 30 years. I have kept my same mortgage. I think I have 7.5 years left at 4 3/4, because one, I didn't want to jump through all the hoops.
Right.
So that Paperwork Reduction Act is a lie.
Yep, I remember your short on that.
It is a complete lie. It's 3 times, maybe 4 times the paperwork from when I started. And I just know what you go through, and I want to do it. I didn't want to do a whole nother 30 years.
Why not?
Because I'm now paying more principal than interest.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about helping me get rid of my mortgage insurance. I think
Do you have a government loan?
Pardon?
Do you have a government loan or conventional?
I think it's a conventional. I refied a while back.
We have to look and see if it's an FHA or if it's a conventional, because I have to look and see when. So for government loans, for anybody listening that has a government loan, and I can't tell you the exact year it changed, but the mortgage insurance you pay every month on a government loan now never goes away.
Okay. Well, we need to talk about it off camera.
Okay.
But
well, just for if anybody's interested, FHA loans, your mortgage insurance does not go away. You have to get down to a spot where you can refi into a conventional Fannie or Freddie. I prefer Freddie. Fannie, I sold my stock. Not my friend. Okay, they really, a couple of the auditors are not my friend.
Right.
So in any case, yes, this is my new tiara. And it was given to me by Sean. And where's my glasses? Because this is a gal that she does this for a living. Does tiaras. It's beautiful.
What's the name of her organization?
The name of the organization is queenbeecrowncompany.com.
We'll have
And
to
she's
we'll have to put a link down into the
yeah.
stuff.
She's not a political person, so I kind of want to make sure everybody knows that she is not political. She's all about these. And this is my favorite. This is the one I try to get my daughter to wear at her wedding, and she's like, no.
That's because you like it. And it doesn't come with a matching nose ring.
Well, and I wanted to wear it I wanted to wear it to her wedding too, and I was banned from wearing a crown.
You're not one of those moms, are you?
Yeah. Everyone wants to be a princess or a queen.
I know, but okay. Is my sound better this time?
It's a little crackly, and it could just be on my end because it's recording from my end. We may have to next time because you're an admin to StreamYard. You can start the.
No.
You say that. You know you love streaming with me.
I don't mind it. I just am not. This is your channel. It's your thing. I am 100% support of it. I love the talks. I enjoy our exchanges, although you're wrong most of the time. But
I'm never wrong.
Usual. I deal with it. I understand that my sister isn't as smart as me and isn't able to keep up. But I'll lower as we need to.
Our next stream will be set up, and we're going to watch this one YouTube channel that I'm like hooked on because I was watching my Zoom Court. Love Zoom Court.
Okay.
And I was watching to one that had commentary. Well, I found one that there's no one live giving commentary. She points out stuff on the screen for you to show. Like one guy, they tried to say he was smoking a crack pipe. And the judge made the court reporter go back and re-review it.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was pointed out. So we'll have to watch some of this because I'm hooked on Zoom Court.
Okay. Well,
it's amazing.
Okay. Well, whenever I was a jury member for one of the cases here when I was between jobs, I got selected to be on a jury trial. And it was really easy to get selected. They ask you some questions and you're like, I listened to both sides and you guys really didn't give me any information other than what one side thinks and what the other side thinks, but you gave me no evidence to prove either. And, if you want to convince me of something, you're going to have to give me more information than you gave me, either side. And I got selected immediately. And that's how you do it if you want to get on a trial.
You know what I find is I don't like it. So in Zoom court, you still have to raise your right hand, swear on the Bible, give the oath.
You just do this. That's all. You're not
right. But then they start talking about plea deals, and you plea it down to something that you didn't do. You just swore an oath that you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. And then you take a plea down to another thing, and you got to admit that you did this other thing that wasn't the original thing. It's what? What's the point of doing the oath?
Just procedure. It's how they do stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm never going, hopefully ever going to be on that side of anything like that. That would suck. And it would mean that I did something extremely stupid in my life, short of a traffic ticket. Or maybe I would be protecting my home, but that's about it. I don't know. I don't see myself needing to know so much about court and how those things work. You keep dropping off.
Yeah, I know what the deal is.
Your internet sucks.
Maybe it's the way because I have a new. Oh, well, I have a new stand.
It has nothing to do with the stand. It has to do with your internet connection.
Or it's this piece of shit computer that says I need Windows 10 because I have Windows 7.
Oh, God. I will buy you a new computer and send it to you. I'll buy you a sweet computer. Maybe I'll PCs and get you something sweet.
I thought the Intel Core. I thought that
with anything.
It does say on it. I thought it said 17.
What? You have Windows 7. You know how that's not even supported anymore. You're surprised. I'm surprised your machine works.
But you know what I got at the digging store? Oh no, talk to the channel. Hang on, because I may be able to get Windows 10 already for 50 cents.
What? Your machine won't take it.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't. It won't. Trust me, it won't. And if it does, it will be even slower than it is now. Know this, the machines that you buy are meant to be replaced every 3 to 5 years. Know that.
This one I never used.
It doesn't matter whether you use it or not. It's a matter of how old it is.
Okay, so I have.
Hold on. Now let's get this understanding together. This is what I do for a living. You have to believe me. If we're going to have a conversation about whether you know more about this than
then why do people buy these discs?
Do what?
Why do people buy these discs?
Do you know how many machines out there now have a disk drive?
Well, this one doesn't.
Stace. Do you know how many machines have CD-ROMs anymore?
None.
Not many. You have to have a special machine where you're going to be burning CDs. And if you don't have a machine that was made in the last 3 years, you're woefully behind technology, and that's why things slow down. That's why your clocking time happens. Even adding more memory won't always help. You're going to have problems. I mean, even the iPad that I'm using right now, I'm probably going to need to buy a new one here in the next month because it's starting to slow down as well, which might be part of the reason why the microphone does what it does. And they're made that way. They're disposable. And even your phones, although most phones are better cameras than they are phones because most people use them for texting or for taking pictures, and they don't actually do phone calls anymore unless they're in their car and they have it attached to their car. That's probably the only time they'll take a phone call on it. Hell, I still have a landline. So, and that's because I need to talk to my parents, and I don't want to be dropping calls when I'm trying to talk to my parents. So, And it looks like you, Stacy, are not able to join because your machine is a piece of garbage. So with that, everyone, we are going to go into the villains and heroes talk. We'll wait for Stacy to get back, but we're going to do that right now. So we'll start with the villains. So two of the villains that I thought about talking about tonight was of course, the Predator, which not sure if he's a villain or a hero or whether he's anti-hero, but definitely not a nice character. And if you've seen the first Predator movie, you would understand. Very good movie, definitely one to see. It still stands up today. It has not fallen behind from the standpoint of a good cinematic film, although some of the lines are a bit campy now from Arnold Schwarzenegger, but still a great film, one of his better films in my opinion. Definitely one that if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. The other villain that I thought about talking about, and this one I think I can talk a little bit longer on, was from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was on a day or so ago, and that's Bellic. And he's one of the top villains that I'm aware of. I went into the villain talk waiting for you.
Okay, good.
So Bellic, or Belloc, from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, he's the other archaeologist who would steal the findings of Indiana Jones. He stole the golden idol that in the very beginning of the movie, where the whole Boulder Run and all of that, he stole that idol from Indiana Jones at the beginning of the film, and then he also stole the Ark later on after Indy found it. So he is definitely one of those guys. He's not like super evil, but he's a good enough villain to where you just hate him when he's on the screen, because you know he's not there to do anything but take from Indiana Jones. So that's my second top villain. And the third top villain that I can really have a lot to talk about, but not everybody knows who it is. I mean, the Joker, Batman's Joker, and one offshoot of that, and a lot of people who don't read comics don't know who this is.
I got internet now. He's
Batman,
talking about villains.
The Batman Who Laughs. So the Batman Who Laughs is a cross between Batman and the Joker from a different universe, who eventually come to our version of Earth. And what happened was Batman gets a certain type of laughing gas or whatever from a Joker from a different time, a different version of Earth, and Bruce Wayne becomes the Batman that laughs. So he's a cross between Batman,
Yeah, I don't know.
Joker.
I don't know what it's doing tonight, but it's not being nice.
Yeah, your computer's old and it's time to replace it.
I don't think it's me. I think it's this new thingamajig I have. So we're gonna take it down. I don't know if he's still talking or if I'm talking. One of us that's talking, and I don't know what you guys forget.
So you are having some serious technical difficulties tonight. So
And I'm gone.
we should probably cut it short and pick back up next week for sibling talk.
I got very good.
Do what?
I don't know what it's talking about because I got great bars.
Then why do you keep dropping off?
No, my connection is not unstable. See, I mean,
It's not. Yeah,
sometimes
I'm not saying.
I can be a little unstable when I get mad, but
Okay. So
I don't know who's talking, but I'm talking to the computer, and Brian is just spinning.
So again, this is what technical difficulties look like, folks. And Stacy doesn't want to understand that she's the one with the problem, but that's okay. She doesn't have to. She's my sister, and we've had these conversations before. It's not her, it's me. So back to the Batman who laughs because Stacy continues to have technical difficulties.
Well, I keep talking to the camera, and you were spinning, so I'm like, I don't know if he's talking, but I'm talking too. So who knows how this was going to turn out tonight?
Why do you keep dropping off though?
I don't know. I took off I got this new laptop stand at the 50-cent store, the Dickens store.
It has nothing to do with the laptop stand. The stand.
Well, it could be blocking my Wi-Fi card.
What planet are you on?
Wow.
you
I do keep buying all these gadgets. I have no idea what they're for.
You keep saying you're poor, but you keep buying stuff
for 50 cents.
Doesn't matter. 50 cents.
Like what's it? Let's ask you this. I know you're talking about villains, but I got something and I don't know what it is. It says USB 3.0 and it's a metal thing.
Leave it alone. Stop messing with that stuff. If you don't know what it is, don't mess
I don't. And I Google and I try to figure it out. But I would think this Microsoft
you can Google and try to figure it out. But when it comes to these types of things that you want to do, don't mess with what's working.
How come I just can't put in these codes and have it update my system?
You probably could, but your system is so old it won't take it.
Then why do they sell these bastards?
No, it has not. You buy them to update newer machines. Your machine is so old, you could put that in, it's only going to slow it down more. Windows 7 to Windows 10 is such a huge jump in one, the overall size of the application has grown. The need for more memory has grown. The need for more space on your hard drive has grown. And certain levels of processor need to be in place for it to even work.
Doing that word processor.
What's wrong
with processor?
Well, I work with some people from Canada. I pick it up. I apologize if it offends your whatever.
I was watching my favorite paranormal show last night, and of course they were doing their typical "Where are you at?" I'm like, before the act, stop it.
Okay, so tell me your favorite villain, since I've already listed off 3. And
Venom.
One of them I didn't finish. Venom. In the comic books, he's a villain. They've made him into like kind of a hero type person.
But Deadpool is the best.
He's not a villain.
But sometimes he can look like a villain.
Looking like a villain and being a villain are two different things. Although when Deadpool was written by Rob Liefeld, he was a villain. But
I love Deadpool.
They have since changed him. And even the comic books, they've made him more of a...
He's got a friend.
So he's kind of like a Boba Fett. I see it.
I have one where he's also laying on the ground with his legs crossed doing that.
Right.
I want the rubber suit.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of more villains that
Villains, you're talking heroes a little bit. although Venom technically isn't a hero in the comic books. Although they did change him. Donny Cates did a version of Venom that was really good read and led all the way up to the symbiote wars, so which was kind of cool.
I would say
War of the
hero
Realms.
wise, I don't know if it's a person, but of course, our generation, we saw a lot of movies before we told the movie places to, or I did. I mean, I did watch Top Gun because it wasn't backed by some of these. But really, Jet Li's Fearless. Wow. It
So
gives me
you're
chills.
talking movies now. You want to
Yeah.
just talk movies and not specific characters?
It's his character in there
Right.
where, he walked
Hero
around.
or villain?
He ended up being, he started off being, I'm all that in a box of rocks, box of
Was
chocolates.
he? That wasn't the one where they put the collar on him, and whenever they would take it off of him.
No.
Okay, I can't remember what film that was, but that was pretty good. That had. Oh, who did that?
I've seen that one, and it's really good, and I can't think of the name of it. But this one,
Unleashed.
That's it, Unleashed. But Fearless, he's a fighter, and they're all martial arts, and they're different schools. It's back like in the 1800s or something, or 15. I don't even know the age. It's back in the day, and he was very boastful at first.
Mm-hmm.
He was the bomb, and nobody could take him down. And then he got taken down. He took another group down, and that group came and killed his daughter.
Okay.
And mother. And he lost all his self-worth and was like in oblivion, just lost himself. And met up with a woman that was blind. And she nursed him back to health, and he became humbled again.
Like Deadpool.
Yes. So as he was being humbled, he was doing what he thought was right for his martial arts school. And they ultimately ended up poisoning him. But he was definitely like, when he came back as the humble person, not the boastful person,
mm-hmm.
He became revered. People looked up to him.
Oh.
Because where before they would fight, he would, try to lean the other way.
Okay.
But the best way to watch it is with subtitles. Right. Because I think it's a Chinese movie or Japanese or Korean. I don't know. But I watch it in English subtitles because it's that one. And then I love The Last Samurai.
Really? Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, but he's not the one I really like. It's Chow Yun-Fat. That's his name.
He was the leader, right?
Yes.
And yeah, but he also plays Ra's. Well, he plays the guy who Bruce Wayne thinks is Ra's al Ghul in Batman, like the first Batman. So.
Oh, really?
Christian Bale, yeah, I think it's the same guy.
Christian Bale, I don't like him. You know who I really like? Eric Bana. How come they're not putting him in more movies?
Well, hold on, why don't you like Christian Bale? Other than the rant that he had, which was here at one of the studios here. So.
He what?
And she's gone again. Let's hope that it's her and not me, because I really think that the camera is being very kind to me tonight, so that's nice. So Christian Bale as Batman, good choice, I think. That's a Christopher Nolan film, The Dark Knight, definitely one of the best films of a Batman film. Heath Ledger was one of the best Jokers. I thought he was better than Jack Nicholson. I was a big Jack Nicholson Joker fan. And then Heath Ledger, not only did he knock it out of the park, he destroyed anybody who's going to play Joker ever. So.
It says my Wi-Fi is great.
It's not your Wi-Fi, it's your computer.
Oh.
Keep telling you that, and again, you're not listening.
Okay, so talking about villains, true villains, and
I went with Heath Ledger's Joker, the best Joker, better than Jack Nicholson. Joaquin Phoenix is close, but you cannot compare the two. I just think that.
I don't think I watched that one.
Which one?
The one with Heath Ledger.
You have not seen The Dark Knight? You have to watch that.
I struggle being not faithful to Avengers.
I will tell you this. There are certain superhero films that you have to watch.
Okay.
The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as the Joker will change your opinion of how superhero films are made. That movie is that good.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It doesn't feel like a superhero film.
Really, well, I don't want to feel like I'm cheating on my boyfriend.
You're not.
Because you got DC and you got Marvel, and I'm kind of a Marvel chick.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But you can also appreciate a good film, and it's a good film. As
a matter of fact, if we end up moving to the farm, do you know what I'm getting? I'm getting a dog. And do you know what her name is going to be?
What?
Widow.
Okay.
Going with my theme.
Can you name 3 Marvel characters that don't have superpowers?
Hawkeye.
Okay.
Black Widow.
Okay.
Well, Captain America doesn't. He's just super strong and never dies.
Well, that's superpower. He's a super soldier.
Well, I'm trying to think who the third one would be.
Tony Stark.
Oh, Tony Stark. How did I?
Iron Man does not have superpowers. He is the Batman of Marvel.
I didn't even think of that. I was just looking at him. He's the superpower.
What's his superpower?
Just being him.
Exactly. Playboy, philanthropist, billionaire.
Yeah. Okay, so
Those
speaking
are
of
superpowers to have.
So speaking of villains.
Okay.
In movies, and Alec Baldwin. It's such the Trump curse.
Okay, we're trying not to get into politics.
I know, but I love So back to movies and villains and heroes. Yeah, no. Iron Man has a superpower. Because his superpower is drawing me to watch him.
Okay, so we're going to make this a cringe fest?
We could.
I'd rather not.
But I will say, I did see a thing. People, I cannot believe. I love the fact that everybody thinks Tom Cruise is a nut job because of Scientology. But in reality, if someone's going to kiss your ass as much as they do with him, you do you, boo. Top Gun. They thought Top Gun was going to save the movie industry. It didn't save the movie industry, but it sure made Tom Cruise a lot of money.
Yeah, it did, actually. Maverick. It saved the movie industry because that was the first true blockbuster, when people could actually go to the theaters, when all the theaters, from what I understand, were open worldwide, and everybody went to see it. And nobody complained about the weak story, but they loved that they didn't have to think, and they didn't get a stupid message about anything. They just were entertained. You could watch that film over and over again, and all you do is feed your face with popcorn the whole time, and it's awesome. People would say, well, it's not the best film ever. It doesn't have to be. It just has to entertain you so that you can get away. It's like watching an NFL game. You don't watch to see players do whatever it is they do. You watch the game. You watch the spectacle of it, that it's a one-time event. And
Hi,
Maverick
depravity.
Maverick was one of those films where you could sit in the theater and walk out of the theater and feel good about what you saw and not feel like, well, what was the message in that? Or
Right.
what did I take from this? It's like, you know what I took from it? That was a badass film. And that's all I needed to take from it. That's all I needed to know. The cinematography was great. There was very little special effects. I mean, everything was like damn near real, you know, and you got to applaud Tom Cruise for that. I don't care what you care about Scientology and all of that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I separate the person who's giving me something that I want to watch from their personal life. If that's who they are, then that's who they are. As long as they're not hurting anybody, I don't care.
Right.
You want to go and do that? Great. Good for you. But if you put something out on film and I enjoy it, that's great. Good on you.
My daughter has watched it so many times when it's snowing or raining, she's on the treadmill, she just rewatches it. She loves it. Yeah. And then she, calls her husband, "What's up, Goose?" Because after she watched that one, she went and watched the original one we grew up to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was one of those movies, there wasn't a hidden message. You didn't have to look for a hidden. It was just enjoyment.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with those types of films. I mean, everybody, oh, it didn't have this type of character in it. Oh, it didn't have this type of character in it. Who cares? People
wasn't a hidden...
were upset with the first Thor film.
They were?
Yeah, and they were idiots.
I don't remember that, but I didn't care because I love Thor.
Certain Asgardians were not what they were in the comic books. So, whatever. I don't care. Again, entertain me. Don't give me messages. Don't tell me I need to save the planet. Don't tell me that I should feel terrible because of being.
Well, and that's the problem, that all these studios have gone to that. Let's do the hidden message. Let's do the woke agenda instead of, we made millions entertaining.
Well,
we need to entertain.
Well, just remember that the reason why films fail are because of me.
Because you don't like them?
It's because I'm a male and I'm white, and because there's certain films that I won't go see. So it's my fault that the film failed. Not that it sucked. Not that it was of a topic that I don't really give a flying crap about. Not because of I know what it is before I even see the trailer. Or once I see the trailer, I'm like, okay, it's another one of those. Great, thank you. I'm good. I don't need to see, if you want to make a badass movie with a female lead, great. But that has since passed. Or do it with a character that people are familiar with, like Black Widow. The Black Widow film did well. Why?
It did.
English female character that has done their time. It's not like, what was it?
She had to sue the studio, right?
She sued the studio, and the studio,
and won.
So yeah, but they tarnished her a little bit by saying, "Oh, $26 million wasn't enough." Most people couldn't fathom $26 million.
But here's the thing: is the point? It's the principle. They tried to undercut her, and I'm like all for her. I would, any actor that would sue like she did, I would have supported him for it.
But the reason why it looked bad on her was because a lot of people didn't understand the streaming services. She sued for money that she could have gotten if it was only in the theater, not money that she didn't get because it went to the streaming services, and she doesn't get a cut of that.
But here's the caveat, because I listened to it.
Streaming and to the theater, she only got theater, not streaming.
But it was released during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. There's the caveat. So she wouldn't have made what she normally would have made in the theaters.
Right.
It's just
No,
she had
I
to go
get
back and negotiate.
it. She still got what, like 35, and then she sued for the last 25 or something. It's like supposed to be 56 million was the expected, because she passed on certain. I thought, now I could be wrong. Most likely I am here, but I thought that she passed on certain things because she would get more based, on the success of the film in a theater. But because they took it to streaming, that undercut her, which is what you're talking about. And I
Right.
get, but Disney didn't make that much more at all. In fact, taking it to the streaming service screwed them too, because
Good. I'm glad
going,
it did at least them.
well, no, and going straight to the streaming services is fine. Go, if you want to see it there, that's cool. I get it. But now the way Marvel is going to start doing films for the streaming service, it's going to be really good. Like, if you get a chance, watch Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf what?
Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
1 hour long. It's on Disney Plus. It introduces three characters to the MCU. One.
Oh, okay.
One Man-Thing. Two, I can't remember his name, but he plays the werewolf. And the other one is Bloodstone, which is a female character that hunts monsters, who ends up teaming up with Deadpool.
With Deadpool? Oh.
So I'll send you the comic book series of that. It's called King Deadpool. Really good series. But she's in it. I think her name is Jessica Bloodstone. Or Jessica, and she goes by Bloodstone, which is this stone that gives her powers to fight monsters. So, but the whole Werewolf by Night is shot black and white. It doesn't go to color until the end. And the only thing that is in color is the Bloodstone itself. So it's well done. It came out in October, which was a perfect time for it. It's a good Halloween type film. But watch
it's only an hour?
It's only 1 hour. They're going to go to those types of films now to introduce characters, so that when they do a film, you'll already be familiar with the character based on that 1 hour featurette. You don't have to watch a full series of 8 episodes. You can watch one film, be introduced to the character, know who it is, so that when you see him in a movie, you know who it is. It's a great model. It's an inexpensive model compared to the model they have now.
I really only care if it has to do with Deadpool, Venom, and Iron Man.
Yep.
I try to watch the new Doctor Strange, which is probably not new now. I'm like, and I love Benedict Cumberbatch, whatever his name is.
That's who it is. You pronounced it right. Yeah.
I was not a fan of that one.
It's a Doctor Strange film where Doctor Strange co-stars. He's not the main emphasis of the film until close to the end. It's more about...
So the girl was?
Yeah, America Chavez. It's more of her origin story, so they can introduce her. So when they do the new Avengers, there's gonna be a new
Avengers.
Yeah, it'll be like a West Coast Avengers, something like that, which will introduce the girl who was in Hawkeye, her. There's a couple of other young Avengers types. Ironheart, which is from the Wakanda movie, which is the
Who's
girl.
Ironheart?
Ironheart. It's a female who builds her own Iron Man suit to try to mimic Tony Stark. From Wakanda, there's.
I thought that was Tony Stark's kid.
No.
What do I know?
Well, and the when Pepper Potts was in the suit, that's Rescue. That's the name of her suit, which is Rescue. So when you saw that in game, that's what that was.
I only saw her come back into the suit in the end games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Rescue. There was a short series of that, and she's also mentioned in Invincible Iron Man. I can't remember the guy who wrote it, but I have it in a hardback, which is an amazing graphic novel to read. Um,
I wonder if they didn't take more of her with the suit and play off of it because she decided to sell candles with her vagina set.
I don't know, but Ironheart is another character that came out of the Wakanda Forever movie, which is a comic book character as well. So they're not like creating a new character and then trying to sell a book of them. But
I thought we weren't allowed to see Wakanda Forever.
I haven't seen it. I'm waiting for it to hit Disney Plus, and I'll watch it there. I'm not gonna throw more money at it. I heard that it was pretty racist. Well, hold on. Racist from the standpoint of you have the Black community and the Hispanic community. So Namor is a Mayan hero, and they say it differently, but in the comic books, he's Namor. And he attacks Wakanda. And how does he get there? He crosses a river. Interesting. And and they climb the walls of Wakanda to attack Wakanda on the other side. Kind of interesting. I know. I can't wait to watch it because I've been listening to people talk about it. And what they talk about and how you visualize it versus how they present it are always two different things. So when people go, spoiler alert, so-and-so dies, it's like, okay, they die, but when, how, and is it
right?
Who cares whether you told? So what? I remember looking at a book and going and opening it. Oh, it's Empire Strikes Back. Opening it up before I even saw the movie, and it says Darth Vader says this line: "I am your father." And I'm like, oh God, I know too much now. So
Luke, I am your father.
No,
I can't do it like you can.
He doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He goes, no, I am your father. Because Luke.
Oh, that's what he says?
Yeah. That everybody always.
All these years, I thought it was.
Exactly. No, Luke goes, he told me enough. He told me you killed my father. And he goes, no, I am your father.
You taught me something. You taught me something new tonight. Now don't let that go to your head.
It won't.
All these years I thought it was Luke. I am your father.
A lot of people get that one wrong. That's actually a Trivial Pursuit question.
Which I just found a brand new Trivial Pursuit game I've never opened.
Okay.
I cleaned out my downstairs closet that put your coats in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, look at that game. Oh, look at that game. But I got another really cool game. It's a family game, and it's the family game of organ harvesting.
That sounds awful.
I had to for 50 cents.
Okay.
Hey, if I can go and spend 50 cents on 10 items, I get my need fulfilled for shopping. Yeah. And they remember me. I've only been there to this new store 3 times, and boy, they remember me. But I also help them clean up their bins. I'm like, here's some more trash. I put stuff in boxes. I'm nice. Sometimes.
We need to do.
Don't tell anyone.
We need to do a cast of a live stream of, like, you have to read a book. I'll read the same book, and we talk about our thoughts of the book. But it can't be some chick book.
I don't read chick books. I got Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life and the Book of Incredible Information, which.
Okay, we have to be able to read it in like a week. Okay.
Here's something interesting. Every square inch of the human body has about 32 million bacteria on it.
That's surprising.
Okay. In 1899, Charles H. Dewey, the U.S. Office of Patents Commissioner, everything that can be invented has been invented, is what he said. I like books like this with, little quips of where things come from.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't require a lot of thought, because if I like it, I retain it. So we have to think of a book that we can read.
Okay.
That's not, I do murder stuff, but not true crime. I can't do true crime anymore. I haven't done true crime since I had children. It's disturbing.
I take it our mom is not on tonight. I guess that's good.
Well, we got somebody on. It's got one watcher. I don't know who it is. Let's see.
I saw they said hi. So hello to you. Thank you
that
for
was
watching. Still on.
That was Depravity. I don't know who that is, but welcome. Welcome to my crazy world. I'm loving that. Okay, I have to say I put out some shorts with Ronald Reagan because I love Reagan. I love me some Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this from the beginning. I don't know who's working with Trump or who worked with Trump, but they had to have worked with Reagan, or he had someone really studying every move Reagan made.
Well,
there's a lot of similarities.
Well, there's some similarities. Trump is very boastful, and Trump is
if you go back and listen to some of Reagan's speeches back then, we thought the same thing about Reagan.
Reagan was boastful from the standpoint of what he saw America as. He was not boastful of himself. You never heard him go, yeah, this is the largest gathering ever. You never heard him say,
right.
He never put himself in front of the message.
That's true.
Trump, and that's what turns people off about Trump. And I know this isn't supposed to be a political conversation,
but it's not. We're talking about their personalities. And here's the thing:
but you can't do that. That turns people off. It's not very statesman-esque. Which the reason why he got elected was because people were tired of the statesman-esque approach. It was tell people what you think. Don't be afraid to tell people they're wrong, and don't be afraid to let people know what's really happening. And that worked. Right. And I believe that people still want to know what's really happening.
We want transparency.
But they don't want to hear it from somebody that lets you know that they're the ones telling you all the time.
Right. That's taking credit for it.
Yeah, why you're already the president. You can't get any more powerful than that. You can't.
Right. And I understand that. It's about putting your ego in check. If you're about America, just be about America and don't put yourself ahead of it.
Right.
You could say, instead of saying, I did this,
let everybody else talk for you.
Or our team did this. It's a team effort. He didn't come up with all the stuff on his own. He had a team. Behind every great leader, there's a magnificent team. There's a team that's better.
No, I understand that. It's one of those things that I saw an ad that says we're the number one blah 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 in this state. Not our words, theirs. So you don't have to tell people that you're great. When other people say it, you don't have anything to say. You don't need to say it. Other people will speak for you when you do well.
And I think that hurt Trump.
Well, and
I don't think him calling out the media. I don't think him calling out the media the way that he did hurt him. Because I was like, that's me.
No, that was different. He hadn't started calling out the media right away, but he was so boastful that the media attacked him, and then he went back at them twice as hard, which is normal. That's a typical.
But here's the thing. He didn't go after the media right out of the gate. He had already been attacking the media for years prior.
Yeah, he let them know where they were.
And he would call them out in interviews, even back then, with "you're fake news, you're lying."
I don't remember all of that, but I do know. that his messages about the media still resonate, and they're now even using the same terms, because they have to, fight it. They have to find a way to legitimize themselves again. And you know, the media did it to
But
themselves.
here's what it makes you think about the media. Ouch, take politics aside. In general, now that when you watch the media and you watch the news, which I don't, but a segment, which I think my nightly news here is 30 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Everything they say, I'm like, are you lying? What'd you leave out? What'd you miss? Because that's what they do. And if they're not lying, they're dumbing it down. And really,
right.
My legs can predict bad weather better than the weatherman.
You know, here where I live, we know that they're only right when they say it's going to be hot and when they say it's going to be cold. That's it. And occasionally in late summer when we have monsoons, they can say, yeah, it may rain tonight. And it usually
The
does.
may part gives them an out. I said may.
I said may. It may rain. But yeah, it's...
my legs, if the barometric pressure is going up, I know my legs know before I look. And I will say before I look, we got weather coming in. And every time. And it may be 3 days out, but it's already changing.
Right.
It's one of those that, and I think I put a short out on it, is I wanted to know how many people stopped watching the news, even their local news. My local news is not any better than the national news. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked looking at the anchor for ABC. I can't think of his name. Muir, his last name.
Okay.
He's kind of cute to look at, but I was out.
You
Because
know,
I know people do teleprompter work and they're not doing the stories, but he's moving his mouth, tells me he's lying.
well,
if they came out with a channel that was absolutely 100% transparent, gave the good, the bad, the ugly, they'd make millions. Because they wouldn't be pandering to either base.
Here's the problem that you have. Back in the day, and I don't know how far back it goes, but far enough back where we weren't alive yet, the news used to be an uninterrupted newscast. That's it. When you put advertising into it, it became, what kind of news do you report? What will sell ads? So it became more sensationalized. And then it became, who's supporting specific type of ads and or news. So
yeah,
it became where you were essentially, in my opinion, buying the message. You could pay for the message. I want this message. Certain people could buy a newscast, and then it would be whatever that message is, not what actually happened, but what they thought happened. It became more editorialized. It became
it's their perception.
It became more of how many crimes are out there, how many people did this, how many terrible things happened, instead of we had this, we had this, we had this, our president said this is what we're doing, and move on. Weather, sports scores, go home.
And here's what people
selling ads, and then it became this free for all for how much sensationalism can we have in order to sell more ads, and that's how they.
Well, I think everyone has forgotten the whole perception versus reality, where my perception is going to be different than your reality because everybody perceives something differently. What I may find offensive, you'd be like, whatever, and vice versa. And maybe it wasn't meant like that. It's for everybody's taking, but it still give us the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
Right. Well, you can't. That's relativism. Okay, so
It's brainwashy.
Well, relativism means that whatever you think is your truth, that's your truth.
Right.
Whether it's real or not. So
if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck,
Right.
it's a duck.
But the thing is that if somebody goes, I'm a cat, then I'm a cat. Okay.
And then I'm going to rub your face in the litter box.
Oh, okay. Now you're all right. Thanks, Karen.
I'm being facetious, but yeah, but it's.
But the thing is
it's
that we've allowed people, because that's what you think, then that's your truth. You always hear that. That's your truth. Is it real? Is it factual? Or is it just what you think? If I think that the moon is made of cheese, or here's a better one, flat earthers. How stupid is that?
Okay, so okay. I thought you were going into my 9th grade year and giving me shit about Coach Amick.
No. Flat earthers are out there. You can watch videos that try to prove flat earth, and it's like, okay, great. Thank you for that. I got 20 minutes of knowing why you're stupid. Got it. Thank you. But that's what I mean. Those are people who think that is true when it's not.
Right.
Factually speaking, that's wrong. Because if we have satellites that are circling something.
But here's my question. If we've already been to the moon, why haven't we been back?
Hold on. So,
I got my crown.
We haven't been back to the moon because a lot of people think that we never went in the first place, and Stanley Kubrick was the one who staged it all, shot all the photos, and set up the script so that the moon landing would look real.
Well, I'm not saying that, but it's a good question to ask. If we went, why haven't we been back? Why are we just like taking pictures of it? And
we did it in a machine that had less memory than your average phone. Okay, done with conspiracy theories.
But it's inquiring minds want to know.
Well,
okay, so before we wrap up, I got something really cool. And I think we should make this the beginning of our topic next stream, the first 5 to 10 minutes. So
we should also ask people to send comments on what other topics they would like for us to talk about.
I think people will enjoy this.
Okay. 50 years ago, back in 1971. Okay.
So I went, what? It is fascinating. Fascinating. As soon as I find my glasses. I just put them in one spot. Let's wear these.
Well, you're old, so you forget stuff.
The movies. This is a good one. You ready? Dirty Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Clockwork Orange. Fiddler on the Roof.
Right.
McCabe and Mrs. Miller. I remember that one.
Yeah.
The Last Picture Show, which I think is the Rocky Picture Show.
No, that's not Rocky Horror. The Last Picture Show had Sybil Shepherd in it. Had but Sybil Shepherd was in it. The Last Picture Show it's black and white. It had Jeff Bridges. In it. I think Jeff Bridges. I don't know if Beau Bridges was in it. But yeah, it's a black and white movie. Yeah.
And then the other top film, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Music, Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. Reason to Believe, Rod Stewart. Mm-hmm. I Feel the Earth Move. I Feel the Earth Move. Carole King. One Bad Apple, The Osmonds.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, The Bee Gees. Mm-hmm. And this one is an oldie but goodie. Take Me Home, Country Road, John Denver.
It's a good one.
Now, Prices.
That is the third time this weekend that I've heard that reference. Country Road. They sang it at one of the football stadiums. One of my friends mentioned it, and then you just mentioned it. So
So things happen in threes. Okay, so now what things cost.
that's not
I'm
good.
not going over who the actors were. Minimum wage was $1.60. A new house was $25,250. Monthly rent was $150. A gallon of gas was 40 cents. Strawberries were 29 cents a pound.
Okay.
A dozen eggs were 53 cents a pound. I mean 53 cents, not a pound, for 12. A movie ticket, $1.50. A postage stamp, 6 cents. And last but not least, a tape cassette recorder, which we all had to play, record that song.
Right.
$29.88.
$30 for a tape recorder.
And the last one I'll do is the style. Women, polyester, flare trousers, platform shoes, which I wear those today because I'm short. Farrah Fawcett flicks.
That's the hair.
For men, V-necks.
Butterfly collars.
V-neck, velour shorts. I missed that velour part. Velour? Turtlenecks. Oh. Chest hair and sideburns.
Yeah, not me.
Afros and mullets.
The mullet was in the 70s? I thought the mullet was an 80s thing.
Well, I think by the 90s, they called it a bi-level.
Just so you know, the man bun is the current version of the mullet. They're both awful.
I could probably do yeah. Oh, the population of the United States was 207.7 million.
Right, we're at
Nixon,
3 million question mark. 350 million question mark.
Nixon was the president. Average income per year was $10,600.
Wow.
Interesting.
Just think that you could make that in a month.
Yeah. So you get the 60s for next stream. I'll get the 80s.
All right, I'll do my birth year, 68, because that's when we landed on the moon, supposedly.
You land what? Oh my God.
We went to the moon, 68.
Oh, we did? That's when we went?
Yes.
Do you know what? Here's
Nine.
something else. We were talking about this the other night at my friend's house. And I asked their daughter, who recently graduated from college, if they discussed the presidents in history in high school. Do you know they don't?
No.
Do you know we had to? Do you remember doing reports on Reagan and
just remember whatever you think is normal curriculum, it's not. And I will leave you with this, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay.
I believe that we should abolish all school systems across the country and narrow them down to specific geographic areas of homes. Like in my subdivision where I live, we all contribute, whether you have a child or not, to a certain fund to pay for a school that teaches the kids within that radius. That's it. We hire
it used to be like that.
Well, we hire the teachers as a community, and we set the curriculum. We want these subjects taught, and that's it. We pay the teachers instead of paying taxes to a school system that blows. We pay for that here, and if you want 3 teachers, great, or you have 1 teacher that can teach all subjects. But it gets handled internally. And if you're inner city, then you'll have more people for the school. But for the rest of us who live in open area states, we shouldn't be confined to old style teaching. We should be able to determine what our kids know. It's either that or homeschooling. And this is one step up from homeschooling, where you hire the teacher to teach the curriculum that you all agree that this is what's going to be taught, and the kids learn it. And that's it.
I think a
Get
lot
rid
of people
all
would like
these
that
teachers'
idea.
unions and all the bullshit, because the teachers' unions are so corrupt, and it's not because they vote Dem, it's just because they're corrupt. I don't care who you vote for. When you're corrupt, when you say we don't want to go back to school, go back to the schools to teach because they can do it via Zoom call. Great. If you're going to do that, close the schools, stop taking so much tax money. You're working less because it's you can't be there to teach hands-on.
Well, you're not having to pay for supplies.
And you're not paying for supplies anymore. So what's the deal? But that's just me.
That's a good idea though.
It's about money. If I'm going to pay for something, then I want to see value in it. And right now, I'm not seeing value in a lot of the education that's out there. And it's not that they're teaching whatever that is. It's that our kids don't read well. Our kids don't have good English skills. Our kids don't understand their history. They don't understand basic civics, and they can't work.
It starts in kindergarten, just so you know, because this is how I got my reputation in the school district with sight words. They don't believe in teaching phonics and syllables and sounding out words, and I lost my shit. My kids know phonics. They know syllables. They know how to sound out a word, but that's where it starts. But I'm going to do a short on that, what you just said, and then I'll end our next one with my fix for the justice system.
Okay. So we're going to call it a night. Thank everybody for
thank you, Al.
Those who joined us, and for those who are going to be watching.
Our replay crew.
Thank you for
watching
this stream. We hope you enjoyed it.
Subscribe, like, share.
Right.
I hit my goal. Now I got to get to 200.
Buy us some coffee if you want.
Oh, yeah. You could buy me a cup of coffee / at Stacy Karma 1442 to support the channel.
Right. So we would appreciate that.
But liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing also is a huge support.
Right.
So we will see it. Are we doing next Saturday or next Sunday? No, we're going to do next Sunday.
We're going to do next Sunday, but we're going to have to do it hopefully when all the football games are done.
Okay, you can see where the football games are, and then I'll set it up because we've got something for Dad Saturday night.
All right, cool.
His Monarch installation or whatever it's called.
Cool.
So, okay. Good. Well, everybody have a good evening.
See you next week.
Well, I'll talk to you beforehand because I start my job tomorrow. Woo-hoo.
All right, sounds great.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys. See you next week. Hope you like the crown. It is the Queen. Oh, let me read it again because I have no brain today. The Queen Bee CrownCompany.com. It's beautiful, isn't it? Let's show her some love. I mean, who can't? I mean, I'm wearing a crown tonight. So it's the www.queenbeecrowncompany.com. Go check her website out. Tell her Stacy Karma sent you. See you next week. Bye. Don't talk to ugly strangers.